Urban development and the growth of agriculture using new farming practices and technology are overtaking the landscape in the Midwest and throughout the United States at an alarming rate.
You can see there's just a grass strip next to the fields because the herbicide has wiped that out. See how it's just grass along the edge of the beans?
There's just nothing left. I think we have to think about, well, what can we put back and how? Not to take anything away from farm commodities, but to try and get something back for the pollinators.
Plant-pollinator interactions provide the basic framework that allows our ecosystems to exist. Pollinators are keystone indicators of ecological health, but wildlife habitat is becoming increasingly scarce, water quality is suffering, and our pollinators are in peril. Monarch butterfly populations have declined by over 80% in the last 20 years. Since colony collapse disorder, an average of 40% of bee colonies will die each year. And a recent study of nearly 1,500 native bee species found over half of these populations to be declining. Scientists believe that if we do not act now, there could be a 60% chance that the monarch will become extinct within the next 20 years.
This thing that we call pollinators is the single greatest conservation movement of my lifetime.
Beekeepers have been keeping bees for 100 years where they have focused entirely on finding habitat. But we've already found all the habitat and it's depleted. So now what we have to do is learn how to create it. We have to invest in it.
Just like innovations have increased the efficiency and productivity of modern agriculture, we also apply new innovations and technology to work with agriculture to make conservation as good as it can be.
We very specifically called them NextGen habitat projects because this project and this result brings new innovation and new technology to how we design and how we establish and manage this habitat. It's different than how we've been doing pollinator projects before this, and that influences what it costs, the pollinator value that we get out of this, how quickly it establishes, the weed competition, strength of a mixture like this. This is all new innovation and technology. We like to think that we've built a better mousetrap when it comes to pollinator habitat.
Through unique partnerships, the Bee and Butterfly Habitat Fund is working with landowners, farmers, beekeepers, and other stakeholders to identify unused or underproducing land. We believe that there is room for conservation on every farm and ranch in the country, and the margins of agriculture as potential habitat for pollinators. The Bee and Butterfly Habitat Fund plants high-quality seed mixes that benefit honeybees, monarch butterflies, and other native pollinators. Our seed mixes are designed by biologists and experts to provide the best nutritional value to our pollinators. In the pilot phase of our program, over 120 landowners and farmers established NextGen habitat projects to benefit pollinators, including 6.8 million milkweed seeds, which directly support monarch butterflies.
It's this huge task put in front of us to restore enough habitat, 1.8 billion additional milkweed stems on the landscape. You know, that's a huge endeavor. And so what's unique and different about this partnership is how quickly it's got to action and got to more habitat on the landscape.
But that's not all. NextGen Habitat provides many environmental and ecological benefits for songbirds, game birds, water quality, soil health, and other wildlife. This new and impactful program shows quick results, and we are already making a difference. But with your support, we can do much more to reverse these trends.
The Bee and Butterfly Habitat Fund is bringing innovation and technology to pollinator habitat. Everybody can make a difference by supporting our efforts. Help the Bee and Butterfly Habitat Fund by putting more pollinator habitat like this onto the landscape. A contribution of as little as $100 will give us 1 acre of this habitat on the landscape.
Be a part of our NextGen Habitat Solutions. Visit beeandbutterflyfund.org and projectapsm.org.